The Winning Team channel, ladies and gentlemen, is a movement. Today we're going to be talking about what on earth, or rather what the heaven, this channel is. Like, what is this channel? Like, what is the purpose? Why are the videos the way they are? Why do I upload the way that I do? And the reason I'm making this video is not necessarily because I feel like I need to explain myself. As one of you guys always says, it's your channel, do what you want. More so because I want us to have an understanding as a team of what we're trying to achieve here. And I haven't yet had the words to quite articulate it. And it's kind of been unveiling itself in my own mind as well. And also because I know in the future, I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead. In the future, especially with the upcoming projects and videos and things that will be happening this year, this video is something that people are going to need to kind of be like, well, what's going on? Because I know that I'm not posting videos like how other people do. I know that the fact that I don't technically have one specific niche and I could be talking about anything on any day, from the entertainment industry to the education system to my personal life to everything, is so confusing, all under this umbrella of the Winning Team. And then I realized in the last couple of days, as this year has been coming together, like one of the reasons why, guys, I haven't really been posting loads and I've been a bit back and forth is because I really try my best to take the time to make sure everything that I'm doing has a purpose that is creating the impact that I want it to create. Like, it's easy for me as a YouTuber to pick like all the top, there's always stuff going on. I could easily say to myself every day, I'm going to pick the 3 most provocative topics happening and I'm going to just pump out 3 videos about them every day. And yes, would it help my channel in so many ways because I'll be more consistent and people would feel like I have a niche? Great. But as I've said to you guys before, I'm a results-oriented person. I'm like, but what's the solution? What are we getting out of it? Because if all we're getting out of it is that we talk about the stuff going on in the world, or I share what's going on in my life, we all think about it for a little while and then we just move on, what was the point? Like, for me, everything I do has to have a result on the other end that is beneficial. That's why it's called the Winning Team. And it kind of hit me that what I'm doing in this life and what I'm doing on this channel isn't really a specific service or like thing, but more a movement that I live and breathe and lead in life, in essence, which is if life's a game, let's play to win. It's a movement. It's a whole movement. And the movement is that in every area of your life, I am a big believer. What I want for everybody above all else, if you ask me, what is my goals in life? I don't care about money, power, fame. I'm not particularly bothered. Like, none of those things interest me. I've been having a lot of conversations with God the last couple of months because I've just been like, God, this world has literally nothing to offer me. I don't know why I'm here on this planet, because I don't care. Like, I don't care to be rich. I don't care to be famous. I'm not fearful of death. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing in this world to me that's worth it. Because for me, I have God, which is having everything. And the only thing that does motivate me is winning, because it's something that I enjoy to do. And it's something I know was guaranteed with my journey with God. So for me, it's like, the only thing I do enjoy is winning. And the only thing I do enjoy is playing the game in this life. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is just like, okay, well, we can have lots of money. It would be good to have lots of money because I know I would use it in a way that will impact the people, the results-oriented way. I know that I would make sure that people are looked after. I wouldn't take advantage of people. I've been in situations where I've had money. And it's one of the reasons why I hate money, because whenever I have money, I don't like to have to be thinking like, I prefer to just give to people. Like, I just prefer for people to have what they need. Like, you need this, take this. You need that, take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I want those things, obviously, for the sake of the impact. I don't want those things for myself, if that makes sense. And so what I've come to realize is that I really believe that I've been created to be this type of person, because my movement is that I'm a winner. I will win because the winning has been decided, because the winning was paid for on the cross. But not just me. Winning is for everyone. And like, that's the thing for me, is I truly believe winning is for everyone. That's why I've had to understand and accept that just because some people don't get it, like some people will feel like, oh, well, like, you're just so obnoxious. Like, who made you the winner and why are you specific to anybody else? It's like, I'm not specific to different anyone else. We're all winners. We all win in whatever it is that matters to us individually in our own lives. That is your own version of winning. Whatever you want for yourself in your own life. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to me, my version of winning is that I just like to win. I like to be number one in things that I can compete in, real life, actual competitions. So even now in my life, I'm not really thinking about any particular like career path. Like, yes, I can do all the stuff I'm doing and make some money and live like an adult. That's cool. I'm always thinking, what's my next challenge? Like, what's the next thing I want to take on? What's the next thing I want to overcome within myself and all that type of thing? And that's why I kind of think this channel, that's why I think I'm actually perfectly suited for running winning as a movement, because it's for everyone. It's for us all in our lives to take away like what I want to do when I'm making videos, whether it's about the entertainment industry, whether it's about my personal life, whether it's about freaking Elon Musk's Neuralink thing, which I want to make a video about as well. All I'm doing is I'm talking about stuff. I'm throwing ideas out there to give us the information for however it can help benefit you in your own individual day and game in life, right? So for example, if I'm talking about Britney Spears and her experience, what you can take away from that, you might not be trying to be a singer or be in the entertainment industry. What you can take away from that is reevaluating who's around you in your life, right? This is what might help you win. Who is actually trying to support you and who's trying to take advantage, who's manipulating you and who's actually appreciating you. So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about it for the sake of winning and justice for Britney. I'm talking about that for the sake of future, to protect people in the future from getting themselves in that position. But I'm also talking about it so that we all can apply those same logics in our own personal life. It's the same reason like when I was sharing with you guys about me and a conversation I was having with God about my time and how my time was being spent. And it's funny because that video is a big part of how we've ended up here as well. Because after I've uploaded that video, the one where I was talking about time and energy as a resource, I realized that I'm a victim of the exact same thing. I realized I'm allowing myself to still be a victim of the same thing that I was talking about in the YouTube video. I'm still spending time in my personal life with my mind focused on things that are less important, meaning that my time and energy doesn't get spent in the areas that I care more about, like things like YouTube and other stuff. And where I'm like, why have I spent so much time on this? And I had to what actually happened after that is I spent like about a week essentially doing a bunch of things for a bunch of other people, let's just say. And at the end of the week, or like 2-week period, I realized that none of the things I'd set myself to do for myself got done. I had been supposed to having been done so many different tasks for myself, things that I need to do for the things that are in my life coming up this year, that I then had 2 whole perfect amount of weeks. That was the perfect amount of time to get so much stuff done in those 2 weeks. Didn't get done. Why? Because I was so busy still focusing my attention and time in other places and not setting in the boundaries that needed to be set in my life. So what I'm saying, the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I'm on this journey with you. I never want to be somebody that sits on my high horse. Like, a part of me as winning as a movement, as opposed to some kind of like, this is like a well-structured, well-oiled machine channel where everything's perfect and consistent and I always look perfect and consistent. I don't want it to be like that, because that's not real life of a winner. As a winner, you go through ebbs and flows. You go through moments where you're shining and you're on top, and then some moments where you have to deal with the fact that you were not as prepared as you needed to be, or you had certain areas of your life that you needed to improve and you needed to, form new strategies, or you need to change the way that you're doing things, because there might be things you didn't consider or mistakes that you've made, because it's a journey. And that's why I'm explaining this to you guys, because it's all a journey on this channel. It's all about a journey. Even in when I say stuff, like somebody commented on the previous video that I uploaded about Beyonce and Jay-Z's divorce, and they were like, I hope that this divorce is real and you're not just spreading a false rumor. And I'm like, you've completely misunderstood, which I don't blame people, because I get it. People, the way society is it's very overly structured in a certain particular type of way. If you talk about something on YouTube, there are a lot of assumptions that people have about why you're saying what you're saying and what your goal is. That's one of the reasons why I have to make videos like this, because it's like, it's not about for a lot of channels, yes, they are trying to tell you this is what it is and this is the informative of this and this is the facts and whatever. You guys who've been here for a while know that I just throw my ideas out there a lot of the times because I know that even if I'd rather be wrong, say something and be wrong, or like throw an idea out there and be wrong, than not say anything and people be affected negatively because I never questioned it. And especially as somebody who has suffered from certain types of things and traumas and stuff in life, a lot of people get away with stuff because that time when somebody will have just an idea fly past their mind, like, so-and-so did such and such, and it seemed a bit off, and they'll just brush it off. That brushing off, a lot of the time, is the difference between saving somebody and not saving them, or protecting somebody and not protecting them, preventing something from happening from not preventing it. So my thing is, I'm not so prideful that I need to be right. I would rather be wrong about a lot of the things that I talk about. But I'd also completely regret if the idea came into my mind that this is a possibility and I knew it and I could have said something, I could have done something and I didn't. That was what will make me not sleep at night. Not being wrong, not being ridiculed. And that's something else that people have to, I really want to get across to you guys as well. Like the way I'm understanding it now, and I'm so grateful because thank God, because me and God have been going through it. I've been going through hell this year. I've been going through such hell this year, right? And I can see why, because why would the kingdom of darkness want me, who is prepared to fight for the people, who's prepared to have the exact opposite mission of everybody else, which is like, you don't have to be beaten down by this world. You don't have to just take destruction as a part of life, and life doesn't have to just be something that beats you up, and we're not just lucky if something good happens. How horrible would it be for the kingdom of darkness for there actually to be a voice of hope in this world? And that's what I've realized. I am a voice of hope. I'm a voice of faith, because a lot of times when I'm going through the stuff I'm going through, one of the reasons it's so tough is because I know that I have faith, and more faith than anyone I've ever met, honestly. In God, I have more faith. I'm willing to believe God down to the bone, and that's why. And some of these things only happen. I'm going to talk about this a bit more, by the way, guys, because I'm going to do a video in a couple of days. Or should I just do the video now? We'll see how I'm feeling after this, but I'm going to do a video basically talking about like what it's really like when you don't sell your soul to the devil, like what it really is like. Because from where I'm sitting, I'm severely observant. I've lived in a lot of places. I've done so many jobs, you guys, you would be surprised how many different types of jobs I've done. I've just done so many jobs as well, because for me, it's going to sound weird, but like every time I do stuff, I do things more for the experience than I do for some kind of career progression. So I worked as an event planner for a while. Why? Because I just wanted to see what life is like from the perspective of somebody who plans events, and it's something I'm good at. I was very good at. I learned a lot from looking at life from that perspective. For a while, I did a job. I was working in a children's cafe, and it was a really cool place where kids can come and like dress up. And there's mini versions of like real life places. So there's like a mini fire station and like a mini school, and they can all dress up and play. And it's all for kids up to the age of like 7. It's so cute. And they were so precious. And I was working there like in the cafe as a barista, preparing food and coffee and stuff like that. And so my experience from getting to speak to mums of young kids on a day-to-day basis is another cool opportunity for me to be observant. Me studying science amongst people who believe in science more than anything, more than God, is another interesting opportunity for me to observe what's going on. On top of the fact that I come from a background where with one of my parents being a religious leader, or at least having to been a religious leader. So I've been to all kinds of churches, more churches than most people. I've been to the blackest church. I've been to the whitest church. I've been to the most Western church. I've been to the African style church. I've been to so many different things. So like all these different things that I've done, I do them on purpose because I'm trying to gain perspective on the world. Because one thing I find in the world is people are overly narrow-minded because of the very direct and narrow path that they come from and then that they choose. And so everything that they believe is often closed-minded, not on purpose, but just due to a lack of experience. So even when it comes to something like race, I've worked with people who I would class as racist, as in like on both extremes. I've seen people that I would genuinely consider potentially white and racist. I've worked with people who I would consider black and racist. And so seeing it for, again, from those two perspectives, the people who try their hardest, who are Black, to be more diverse, the people who are white who try their best to be more diverse. I've worked with people who are a lot older than me. I've worked with people who are younger than me. I've worked with the youngest to the oldest. Do you see what I'm saying in this world? I've worked all the way with babies and kids and whatnot to people who are old enough to be my grandparents. Do you see what I'm saying? And so all of these different things, I've taken in all this information and I'm taking it in and I'm saying, okay, I've assessed certain things about the world. I've assessed that the destruction is destructing. There is clearly a force, whether you believe in the kingdom of darkness or not, there is clearly a force that is actively, purposefully pushing us down a certain path, right, of destruction. I've noticed that as time is going on, things are getting worse. And I've noticed that, and these are my observations that I've made from people from all these different experiences I've had. And as time is going on, everyone's just accepting that this is how it has to go. And people say stuff like that to me all the time because so many of those things that I've personally achieved in this life and why I can call myself a winner. And I always used to wonder why this always happened. And it used to really upset me quite a lot because I'd always be like, God, why is it that everything that I achieve, someone or everyone was telling me I would never be able to do it? That's what was actually the foundation of my relationship with God, is that every time when everyone's like, you'll never be able to do this, you'll never be able to do this, you'll never be able to do this. Since I was a kid, since I was a young kid, people always told me every single thing I've achieved, virtually everything I've achieved, someone or some people have told me there's no way you're ever going to be able to do this, based on, again, their belief of the world, where they come from, because that doesn't happen in this world, because you have to get lucky, because things are just always going to go bad, because so-and-so tried and it didn't happen, because the world is just this. And then God's like, you got this. I got you and you got this. And that's how me and God have the relationship that we do, because he was always the person in me who always was saying to me at the end of the day, when everybody else was not believing that it was possible, that like, you got this, like you got this, and I believe you can do this, like keep just going for it. And I remember even when I was at university and it was like my second year ever teaching dance, I had no qualification. I came on to teaching the dance teams at my university by accident, guys. It was my idea, and somebody who worked with the like sports teams was like, hey, we think you should do this. But obviously I wasn't qualified. There was 3 people who tried to set up the teams before me in that year, even though technically I was the one who initially had the idea, because they were all far more qualified. One girl's in a famous dance crew that's famous to this day. The other girl has taught every single type of dance you can ever possibly imagine, of all things and everything. And then there was my other girl who I was doing it with initially, who again has way more experience. And then it was all the other older years, second years and third years, and people telling me you're never going to be able to do it. Dance doesn't work at this university, blah, blah, blah. And I had a breakdown in the dance studio one day and I was like, God, I don't think I can do this. Like, please give me a sign that I should do this, because I'm just ready to just throw in the towel. Fast forward to the end of my final year and we're walking away with a freaking trophy from the university dance championships, right? It was only a second place trophy, which by the way, I'm very pleased about, because I also was doing my degree that year and all sorts of other things. And I was probably the least qualified of any of the choreographers that were there, right? And I remember taking that trophy to the guy who was like my boss at the time. And when I went and I walked into the like office where they're all working, and I'm with my vice captain. I'm with her because she has a trophy as well. So we're just high on life. She's done well. I knew she could do it. Obviously, I picked her to be the vice captain. And so we're walking through with these 2-story trophies, right? Thinking we've done it, because I had to fight so hard to get this university to fund this stuff. I was like, we need this, we needed the minibus, we need all of this. I used to put a lot of my own money into this. I was working so hard for this. Like, I was giving everything that I possibly had on top of my studies, on top of working, on top of everything. And I was fighting with this guy, the head of the sports thing, and I could never really understand what the resistance was like. And this is one of the things that God is finally helping me to understand right now in my life. I'm explaining all of this for a reason. I was like, why is there like a resistance? And I realized after the fact, when we walked into the trophies, bro wasn't even happy for us. I was like, you really thought we couldn't do this? You really thought we couldn't do this and we were going to come back? Because one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of people, when they go wrong with stuff like this, and this is what I'm saying about winning and why I'm I feel like it's a movement, what I'm doing here, that I've literally lived and breathed for the entirety of my life, as opposed to, I'm just going to like call this the winning, because the winning team, and we're just going to have these really well structured, orderly videos of where I only talk about this, because it's not about that. It's about life. It's about the fact that like in life, as much as you might know something like studying an industry, you also have to have the resilience. Like, so for example, with that thing I'm just telling you about, I studied my competition. I knew the routines of my competition before we got there because I studied them. So I was like, okay, this is what they're doing. It's my first time ever. I didn't even want to compete. I wasn't interested in competing. I just wanted to do showcases, which we also did, by the way, as well, the same year. Actually, in fact, a week exactly after the competition, or 6 days after the competition. So, which is also the same week I had exams. It was just insane, guys. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so the same way that I've had to study the competition, know how to do what I'm doing, know the industry, that was one winning strategy. The other winning strategy was also, I have to be resilient. I have to be the one who doesn't give up. I have to be the one that's pushing. I have to be the one to say, look, if I walk out looking like an idiot because we couldn't do this or because we failed, it's on me, but I'm willing to take that risk. That's another those are two completely different winning strategies. And so when I'm like uploading videos and I'm saying certain things to you guys, I'm saying it because like, and bearing in mind, this is all before I even was working independently in London. This is just me as a like 20-year-old uni student, like an 19, 20-year-old uni student that's doing this, right? So I haven't even mentioned about what happens after when I'm actually working, you know, like in London and whatnot. So when I'm saying all this stuff to you guys, and I'm saying all this stuff on my channel, and I'm saying what I'm saying, it's about a movement. It's about what is your situation? Where are you in life? And how are we as the people going to use the chess pieces that we've been given to go forward? Right? How are we going to do that? Because that is something that I eat, sleep, live, and breathe. And what is it going to take for you to be able to take those steps for where you individually are, your individual self? If that makes sense. It's not going to be the same for everybody because everybody's in a different position. So like for me, at the time, before going to university, I was like, I want to live in London. I want to do dance. How am we going to make this all make sense? But I know that it's not smart for me to dive in head first. If I go and study chemistry is a great subject that offers me up to many different jobs. So I'll just study that, and who cares what I end up doing, because as long as I get a good degree in chemistry, I'm going to be pretty solid. And because I will make sure I'm in London, and I only applied for universities in London, I will be able to train at some of the best studios in the world because it's London. It was a winning strategy and this is what I'm saying. You have to, everything that we're trying to do here and everything I'm trying to build, I'm trying to help break people out of the system. And I think a lot of what people struggle with sometimes when it comes to winning, the concept of winning, also potentially some of my videos or my future videos that are going to be up and coming is like, well, what's the strategy? What's the point here? I don't understand. Like, why are you doing this? Because you've got to be playing the game. You've got to be trialing things out. You've got to be taking steps from the options that are around you at the time, if that makes sense, and seeing what you can work with. So like for me, I couldn't afford to pay for all the dance lessons I wanted to have growing up. In fact, I started working to pay so I could go and train in the gym, and so I could pay for one dance lesson a week. That was all I could afford, right? So the rest of it, I was doing this is what I'm saying to you. Like, you have to work with what you have, not just think that the things that people have out there, they just fell upon their laps. Because that's a huge misconception that happens, that like if things go well in your life, it's because you just somehow got lucky. It's like, no, it's not. People are just not allowing themselves to make excuses based on the circumstances that they're living in, and are making potentially controversial choices. And that's what this is about, guys. That's what the winning team is about. That's what this channel is about. The channel is about, I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to share with you guys and work with you guys, alongside you guys as winners, as a group together of all of us together winners, of how do we win in this life? How do we win? What are the strategies that we have to like implement for us to get to where we're trying to get to? And how can we work together? So going back to what the gentleman said in the comment from before, which I have nothing wrong with, great. If you think that it could be false, tell me why. Because we're a team here. There has to be constructive criticism. There has to be, and this is one of those things I really despise in this life, and why I'm dedicating myself, I'm only going to double down more on my attempt to get us to be able to agree to disagree and have healthy, respectful debates, as opposed to just having this herd mentality. We all have to kiss each other's butts all the time. No, let's discuss. Let's do back and forth. Oh, you think this? Well, why do you think this? Okay, well, I think that. Why? And I've had a lot of experience with debating as well, because in all the different things I've ever done, I always take the opportunity when I am in the places that I am with the people that I'm with to ask questions about things that I would like to know about, things that I would like to, that would give context or help me to improve my understanding of a certain type of thing, right? If I'm working in a cafe and I get to talk to her mums all day, every day about stuff, I'm asking them the questions I want to know about mums. I'm paying attention to what are the consistencies of things a lot of them are saying. I'm paying attention to what type of lifestyles certain people live in order to be able to afford to do that type of thing of where I was and not afford to do it, how everybody's doing all those things. I'm observing that. I'm asking questions. When I'm going to these other countries, I'm asking the locals questions about their actual country. Like, what do you think about your government? What do you think about the climate here? What do you think about what's going on in England? What do you think about, like, I like asking these questions. Like, even when I was in America, what do you guys think about English people? Like, what do you think about, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, these are all opportunities to learn and grow. And I get into such interesting conversations. This is why I have such interesting conversations with people. Like how I was talking with these two girls that I met in New York City, who were both about the same age as me, and both studying, both of them. One of them was studying science and the other one was studying, I can't even remember what the other girl was studying. We were all on the science route. One of them was had done nursing, and the other one had done, I think it was physiotherapy. So we were all in the like science whatevers. So again, I'm like, so tell me, how does your process work? Tell me, what do you think? What do you think is better? Then they're asking me, and then we're going back and forth about, oh, this is better in your case and this is better in your case. Do you guys see what I'm saying? If life's a game, you have to play to win. You have to take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you. And you have to have the victor mentality of like, I'm going to make this happen. Like there's only two things I know 100% about myself. Number one is that I believe in God, and I believe God is who he says he is. That's one thing. The other thing is I can't give up, because it's always just when you want to give up. It's always just at the point of giving up, or just that's what sends us down this spiral in this world. The reason why the world is the way it is because we keep giving up. The reason why relationships aren't working and everybody's getting divorced is because now that there's issues in relationships, instead of people turning to deciding we need to take seriously how to solve this issue, instead people would rather say, well, the divorce is just like, marriage is just going to end anyway, so let's all just fall away down the path of destruction and not even bother to try. Oh, the younger generation is like this. Instead of trying to stand up and do something about the younger generation, like what I'm doing, for example, oh, the younger generation are done. Let's just continue this flow into destruction, into utter chaos. Like, do you see what I'm saying? All these different things that are going on in the world. Oh, the government, we've normalized that the government is liars. We all just don't even expect anything more from these people anymore. We're just accepting it. So now, instead of like fighting back, instead of us seeing somebody who like is a good suit coming out trying to have a movement, because this is what I think about with history, right? This is why I realize that this has to be a movement. Is like anything that's happened that's been a big movement, someone had to put themselves out there and be like, listen, enough is enough, and we're going to do something. Like if there's a revolution, if there's any type of change, you know what I'm saying? Someone has to stand in the front and say, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to fight hard for this. I'm going to fight hard in the front line for this, because we can't afford to just sit back like some defenseless victims that are losers. And that's where I'm at, guys. That's why I've just decided, like, this is what this channel is about. All the things that we're talking about, it's because it's important, because I talk about the entertainment industry and the media. There's a reason. It's not that I'm particularly obsessed with the entertainment industry. It's because I know it's so influential. I believe that sports, entertainment, and media is the most influential industry, because it's the people that you watch when you're on your time off, the people that have access to you when you have your guard down. Even with politicians, right? If you think about it, politics, you might have your guard up because of what you think about whoever the politician is. If you're just watching a TV program, if you're just listening to music, your guard is down. And that is a perfect place for the kingdom of darkness to align the front line of its work is in entertainment, sports, and media, because that's when your guard is down. You fall asleep listening to things that are going into your subconscious mind. You just spend time thinking, oh, but this is just a movie, right? This is just a movie. Oh, it's just art. Oh, it's just this. It's just. The devil loves to exist in the it's just this. It's just this. And that's why I'm like, I can't just sit back and just be like, oh, let's just all let the world go down the drain. And just every time, like I said, those thoughts come across our head, like, but what if this was real? But what if this? Like, people are seeing all this stuff happening. They're like, this was in The Simpsons. This was in The Simpsons. And then it stops there. So I'm like, and then the problem is, and this is what I'm saying, and why I believe it's truly a game, is when you're playing a game, even I'm playing the game right now, because like I said, I know what's coming this year and I know what I'm doing this year. So I know that even if no one understands why I'm making this video and saying all of the stuff I'm saying, eventually everybody will, and eventually everybody will realize I was 10 steps ahead, because I always am 10 steps ahead, because I'm prepared to believe that the world is the way that it is. I'm prepared to believe that not everybody's good. I'm prepared to say and even look like an idiot to actually believe in having hope and having faith. It's even the way that I deal with God. Like, I don't deal with God how other people do, where I'm making assumptions and assuming, well, this has happened, so he must be bad. I'm like, okay, well, God, you say that you're good, so explain to me how you are good and this is happening. Not from a place of, I've already decided you're bad, but from a place of, if I have a perspective that's incorrect, help me to understand. That's what I'm trying to get people to do more. That's also why I say the stuff I say on YouTube and everything, because I'm trying to get us all to do it. I'm trying to break through the mold. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to help everybody break out of all of these normalities, forget the societal norms of all this social action stuff, right? I'm trying to get people to break out of the normalities of just assuming that you just randomly popped onto this earth, you're just here, and you just have to deal with and put up with whatever the hell happens. And there's nothing that you can do to change your story, and there's nothing you can do to change the world. We're throwing that out of the picture. That's why I come in so aggressively with my messages about the power of being with the people. Because think about this, guys. If even there was, let's say if even 10% of all of YouTube right now was making videos like mine, think about the impact of that. So I have like 570 or something subscribers right now. Imagine if 50 people or 100 people with that amount of subscribers, right? If they were all talking about this stuff, if they were all talking about the entertainment industry, imagine how many people would be being saved from signing these stupid Hollywood contracts. Imagine how many people would be being saved from getting involved with Scientology. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? It's a movement. Imagine how many people would be helped by being reminded that, hey, sometimes some people are going to be taking up your time and energy that you need to be spending somewhere else. Don't spend it thinking about that. Don't spend it on those people. Choose to spend your time more wisely. It's a very simple piece of advice that can be extremely impactful. So yes, the winning team, what this channel is about, it's a movement, guys. Winning is a movement, and winning is for everyone. Winning is for everyone. Winning is for me is as simple as the choice. You choose to hop on board and you choose to live the winning lifestyle. I don't believe in a winning mindset. A winning mindset is not enough. You have to have a winning lifestyle. If life is a game, you must play to win. Do you guys see what I'm saying? And so that's why, and I'm using the gaming analogy because I love games, but also because I think it's something that people can understand, because when you're playing a game, I find observing people in games is my favorite thing of all. Observing humans, because people's personality styles come out. What lines they're willing to cross and what lines they're not willing to cross. What strategies they would prefer, what strategies they wouldn't. The way that they think, their strengths, their weaknesses. Playing games is a great way to assess your strengths and weaknesses, especially because you're not overthinking it, you're just being. So you're like almost the closest version to who you truly are on the inside when you play a game, because you're not overthinking, oh, but this is work, so, or, oh, this is my relationship, or, oh, this is this. This is just a game. So I hope that this video was helpful. I really wanted to just get this idea across, because now it's all for kind of coming together. Now I'm like understanding why everything has happened the way that it's happened in my lifetime. Like, I'm finally understanding it. It's finally making sense. And now, if that's what this was all about, I am so happy to throw myself in the front line at the head of this whole movement of saying, listen, we're done with accepting losing as the only option in this life. We're done with that. You're done. You're absolutely done. And I'm saying you're done to the devil. Winning is for everyone. Winning looks different for everyone, but it's for everyone. That's the message that I want to come across. That's the movement. You know what I'm saying? And that if you're going to win, you do have to be proactive in the winning process. Winning doesn't just happen. Winning takes strategy, because if life is a game, then you must play. And if you want to win, you must play to win. That's all I've got to say. Anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to join the team, if you want to join the movement. God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.